Well, that was quick.
This is the Slater Report podcast.
Yeah, quick intro. That was quick. It was quick. And that's the title of today's episode on Monday, September 18th. And it is Apple Day. Well, iOS 17 days. For those of you who haven't updated to iOS 17, you're not missing much. Well, I mean, I've only been on it for about an hour. And I really haven't seen too much change besides the, the My Contact card and the standby mode. That's really it. But anyway, let's jump into we're not talking about iOS 17. We're talking about college football today. Cupcake Week delivered. Yes, it did. Wow, what a week. It was either going to be either the most boring week of college football or the most entertaining week of college football. And I gotta say, yeah, it delivered. Let's jump right in. First game on the board to talk about. Pac-12 After Dark. Yes, the game that every media would not stop talking about. Yes, Colorado State versus Colorado. Yep, Coach Prime. Here's the end of the first quarter score. Yes, it was 14-4. Colorado was a 24-point favor. Yes, they're at home. The crowd's been there since like 5 a.m. Yeah, they've been 5 or 6 a.m. down there at for game day and a big noon show. But, wow, what a day for Coach Prime. Anyway, Colorado State showed up. They showed up big. 14-14 was tied at the end of the first quarter. Then we go to halftime. They put up another touchdown. They're up 21-14. They had the lead at halftime. Then we go to the end of the fourth quarter. Colorado gets the game-tying touchdown, goes for two, gets it. Basically, the worst Colorado State played an outstanding defense the whole game. But the minute when it counts is when they failed the defense 2 plays on the 2 plays they needed to play defense in. All you had to do was make sure they don't get in the end zone. Well, they allowed that. Well, then all we have to do is make sure they don't get the 2-point conversion. Well, they allowed that. Well, great. Now we're going into overtime. Overtime was kind of delivered, not really. I gotta say, the officials were on Colorado's side, most definitely. I mean, I thought it was a very well officiating game up until overtime. Here's a look at the final score. Colorado won 43-35 in double overtime. And I gotta say, what? If you watch the game, I'd be like, what? Why? Colorado State should have sent that to third overtime. Or mostly I think it's a coach issue. If you score a touchdown in the first overtime, you got the momentum. They couldn't stop you all game. Go for 2. Go for the win. I mean, I was seriously with everyone in the country. Go for 2. Go for 2. No, they just kicked the extra point to send the double overtime. And then the touchdown that should have sent it to third overtime, they had a illegal block. It was not a block at all. All he did was touch a guy and he fell down. It's more of a flop. Come on, man. Come on, officials. That was a total flop. It didn't even affect the play at all. Colorado should have got that touchdown right there. Should have gotten a third overtime. And Colorado probably still won the third overtime. But still, I mean, come on. That is really pathetic. for such a well-entertaining game, it stinks that the game ends like that. I don't know. I was really happy that I stayed up until 1 a.m. to watch the game up until that end. I was like, I stayed up until 1 o'clock to see an official call the game. Scripted, basically. Yeah. Alright, let's look at the comparison stats. Yep. Colorado State basically owns total yardage. Penalty-wise, yeah. Not scripted at all for Colorado to win that game. Yeah. 182 yards in penalties. Yeah, I know Colorado is playing physical and playing tough, but I mean, like, what? There's no way. There's no way that they actually... I mean, 17 penalties, yeah, I can kind of see that against them for being physical. But for it to add up to 182 yards, and then Colorado had about 10 penalties, and yeah, it added up to 87 yards. That's still a lot. That's still a lot. The officials would not stop calling penalties. Just let them play on both sides. But again, they were mostly for Colorado to win that ball game. But Colorado State's also their own fault. They had 4 turnovers. But also, what kept them in the lead the whole most of the game is Colorado State executed off Colorado State. Colorado State scored off of both Colorado's two turnovers. But Colorado did... I think they only scored once and maybe a field goal off of their 4 turnovers. Time possession, Colorado State, yeah, had the ball majority of the time. No one really went for it on 4th down. Really, Colorado State did go. The state did go for it one time, but they failed. But man, what a game that was. Also, another game that I actually was expecting it to be this great, that no one else thought it should. I picked South Carolina to beat Georgia. Yes, I did. And it almost happened up until the second half. Yeah. I can't exactly remember here. I'm trying to pull up the final score. The score at halftime. Anyway, the final score: Georgia won 24-14. But I'm trying to remember what was the halftime score there. Oh yeah, South Carolina had the lead 14-3 at halftime, and then Georgia went all out in the second half. Yeah, South Carolina did not. All South Carolina had to do was keep the lead. All they had to do was each time Georgia scored, they had to score. That didn't happen. They allowed Georgia to take the lead in the third quarter, and then they continued to take over. It's so bizarre how South Carolina let that happen. They had the game with them. Now, I know that they probably weren't going to win that game once Georgia took the lead. But, I mean, where was the physicality that was in the first half? I mean, you totally owned Georgia. All right. Whoever, UAB is playing Georgia next. Well, put them in my joke of the week for Saturday. Yeah, there's no way Georgia's losing that game. All right, well, we got some Monday Night Football tonight. Yeah, ESPN's got a doubleheader. The second game's kind of boring, but the first one has potential. Kicking off at 6:15. Yeah, here in just about 5 minutes away. Yeah, the Saints versus the Panthers. This is going to be probably the best game of the night. Yeah, the other game it probably might be the other way around. I'm just making a prediction, but it's quite possible that this one might be the big game tonight. I'm not even going to talk about the other game. I think it's going to be so boring. Anyway, yes, the game will be going on during this show, be kickoff, so you'll see this little notification thing at the left of your screen. Yep, score alert. Yep, anytime that there's a big update, anytime someone scores, or just need to give you an update or something that's going on in the game, it will alert you right on the left side of the screen. And also, just it will scroll through. Sometimes I'll do some notifications on our bottom line as well. All right, let's get into me, and I got some good ones today. Oh wait, not me. 10 memes. Yep, 10 memes for week 3. Yep, got some good ones this week. I think this might be our best one yet. We're starting off with Coach Corso with his 400th pick. And try to explain to me, what mascot is that? Yeah. Colorado State or Colorado? They're Colorado Boulders, okay. Maybe. But they're not the Bears or the whatever that Buffalo, I guess. But the state is the Rams, so that, I mean, well, it could be a Ram. I don't know. I can't tell. But apparently it's Colorado. Yeah. And I think the only reason why College Game Day went there was, well, for 2 reasons. Coach Prime. Second reason, it's his 400th pick, and they want it to be an automatic W. That almost didn't happen. Oh, wow. All right, next one up is cheer or go to jail. Yes. Mascot, I don't even know what game this is. It looks like Boston College. Or not Boston College, Boise State, based off their field. I know they have the blue field, but, I mean, it doesn't look like their end zone. Anyway, I can't really make out where this game is, but whatever it is, the mascot is saying cheer or go to jail. Okay. Also, and our next one, confusing much? I don't know how to explain this, but, are we playing football or baseball here? I really can't tell. Can you? I mean, the only thing that makes me, at first, when I saw this, like, oh, it's a baseball field. Why am I seeing this? Why is there baseball photo going on that calls football Twitter? Yeah. And then I saw the field goal post. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is a football game right there. I don't even know what game it is, but I could try and tell from the Jumbotron. But, yeah, oh, yeah, clearly the Jumbotron is a giveaway with the football helmets. I can't even tell what game it is, what teams they are. But I can barely see the lines on the field. What is going on? And here's a closer look at the end zone. Not even grass. The end zone, a corner of the end zone, not even grass. I mean, what is going on here? Seriously. Who produced this game? I really want to know. They are so fired. And then we go to Tulsa. Or, I don't even know how to say it. Tulsa. Someone, yeah, I mean, obviously you can tell, I think they're trying to spell it correctly because they're all in line, but that was a fail. Next one is, I think they all walked away, or, obviously, that's not even close at all. That's not even close to Tulsa, but, 2 of them are missing. I mean, I can kind of get it. They probably led to the concession stand. But, I mean, that first one, you're all there, staying together. This one, I can kind of make sense of why it happened. But also, why does this always happen every time they show them on TV? Any time. Any game, anywhere. Anytime someone does this, it's always misspelled. Give me a break, people. Alright. And, a Texas A&M fan really wanted to see A&M play for some reason, I guess. They really wanted to see Jimbo Fisher play. Or coach or whatever, you know. But, yeah. A non-student tried to enter with a non-student tried to enter with student tickets. Told to get guest tickets. Or stickers. For tickets. Fan left and tried to enter another gate. He was ejected. That might be the tweet of the week. Well done, A&M police. What? What? Well, okay, so, he tried to enter with the fake student ID, I'm sure. And then they told him he had to go get, you know, what, an actual adult ticket. He tried to do the same thing at another gate, got caught twice, or probably more than twice, and they're like, nope, you're out. You're suspended. You can't come into this game. All right, next one. Oklahoma State is, you know, I guess they do a, you know, send out an email recapping the game or whatever. Tagline. All right, well, I'm sure if you don't know, Oklahoma State lost 33-7 to South Alabama. The tagline for the Post: Cowboys win. And you can see at the bottom, final score, they lose 33-7. That's a W. I mean, that's an L. That's an L. That's a W for the email writers, and that's an L. Or, I mean, that's a W for the fans. That's a firing for that employee. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. How do you even manage to do that? I mean, they probably just copied and pasted from last week. All right. And you remember how I talked about Colorado, you know, was a 24-point favorite? They stormed the field against a winless team. And double overtime. Yeah, take that in. Take that in. Alright, and also, the Big 12, you know, they got 4 new schools coming in. They're starting conference play next week. We already saw Houston start their conference play against TCU. I'll get to that in just a little bit. But also, AP poll came out yesterday. What are the Big 12 teams going to be ranked? Well, none of them are ranked, except for Texas and Oklahoma are going to the SEC next week. So, the future for the Big 12 is looking bright. Looking very bright. I couldn't be more proud of the Big 12 right now. Yes, the 2 schools that they are getting rid of are the only schools that are ranked for them. Wow. Although I can see that Kansas and UCF, they win next week. I think that they have a chance of getting in. Yeah, I don't even think any USC or Kansas didn't get a vote, and they're their next 2 best teams. I can't with the Big 12 right now. I can't. And also, Oklahoma's at 16. Just 1 loss, and they're out of the rankings, too. Texas, I mean, they didn't look too bright against Wyoming either. And they barely beat an Alabama team, which is probably Nick Saban's worst year. So, the Big 12 looks terrible. Terrible this year. Dang. All right. Fox, what's going on here? Fox headline. Coach Prime, Jay Norvell meet at the end of the game. Yeah, that's not Jay Norvell. That's not Colorado State's head coach. Yeah. That, if it was, that's a little more than just a hug or a handshake. That's a little more than just a handshake like you do at the end of the game. That's a full-on hug. I think that's one of his own coaches. Yeah. He's even in Colorado colors. That's not green. That's brown tannish. So yeah. So when that Fox get fired. All right. And our last one is an Iowa cheerleader loses his pants mid-flip in front of 75,000 people. So apparently, if you haven't seen this, he was doing a flip, your routine flip, after probably touchdown celebration or, in between quarters or TV timeout or whatever. His pants fall off anyway. Everyone sees his underwear for a second. And he successfully did the flip. He walked out like nothing happened. He was awesome. He took that like a man. Everyone around him, even the cheerleaders behind him, were all laughing. We're like, oh my goodness, what happened? And he was like, yeah, I did that. You didn't see anything. Yeah. That's got to be the pick of the week. All right. Let's get into some ball game talk. Florida State, Boston College. We got a first ACC matchup. And boy, they let me down. Florida State let me down. They lose 31-29. Florida State won. Florida State won. Do not meme me on that. I said they won. I did not say they lose. They won 31-29. Barely hanging on. Only won by 3 points. Yikes. For a team I've been hyping up all off season and the last couple of weeks on how they could be the best team right now. They're number 2 right now until Ohio State loses. They're going to be number 2. They'll go to number 1 until Ohio State loses. As long as they keep winning. But, yeah, this is not going to do it for me. They even dropped Florida State. They flipped Texas and Florida State, even after Texas, struggling to Wyoming in the first half. So, there's that. All right, Alabama, South Florida. Okay, Alabama rebound week. Why am I talking about this? Well, let's see. How does Alabama bounce back after losing to Texas? Well, they won. We all knew they would win, but it's how they won. Alabama offense, quarterback issues. Their defense is definitely there. It's definitely probably one of the best defense I've seen from Alabama. Definitely why I thought that because defense wins championships. One of the main reasons why I think Alabama would be back in the playoff this year. Offense, I knew needed work, but I figured he's Nick Saban. He'll get things figured out. Here we are, week 4. Talking about Alabama's quarterback struggle. They don't know who to play. Nick Saban, come on, get things together. They won 17-3. Was not a blowout like everyone thought it would be. Nope, it was a close game. South Florida had it was 3-3 at halftime. South Florida had a chance to do the funniest thing ever. I still think they did. Holding the Alabama to 17 points. That right there. South Florida won. South Florida won this game. All right, we've got some Monday Night Football on right now. Saints versus the Panthers. Let's take a look at a score update as it is now underway right now. Again, I'm recording this episode before the game kicks off so I can get you better graphics during when the game is live and whatnot. Yeah, did I just say whatnot? Anyway, yeah, the game could still be 0-0. It's quite possible the game could still be 0-0 since it just kicked off. But it's also quite possible that whoever got the ball first had a quick touchdown, or a field goal. So it's either 0-0, 3-7, or 7-0. Or there could quite possibly be a safety. Anyway, I'm most likely looking towards it being... It's 0-0 right now. If not, the graphic will update me. There's probably about like 10-ish minutes left the first quarter. It'll be hilarious if ESPN drags it all out and it hasn't even kicked off yet. But yeah, there's your score update for y'all. All right, let's get to the main talk of the show. That was quick. Yes. Why did I start my intro with, well, that was quick. Yeah, you're probably very confused. Well, let's jump right in. First up, Michigan State loses to Washington 41-7. Yeah, I know some people are like, well, was Michigan State ever talked about being in the playoffs? No, they weren't, but I think they had a shot at, not going to the Big Ten championship game, but definitely be in the running for it. Maybe, potentially be the second thought, maybe backup to go if one of the other big teams goes down. But they let me down 41-7 to Washington, and yeah, they were our American Game of the Week, and here's the funny thing about that, and I'll probably talk more about that on Down and Distance tomorrow, but yeah, I really thought, oh, Michigan State undefeated. They looked really good. They look really impressive. Not that impressive, but okay. Their first couple games, and I think college football upsets happens. They're gonna pull off the unbelievable and upset Washington. That's why I was like, all right, this is gonna be our game of the week. I decided that on a Sunday night. And then about around last Tuesday or whatever, I was like, wait a minute. I missed a big opportunity. I had Tennessee and Florida right there when I've been hyping up Florida all off-season in all of the first couple of weeks. It was right there. I was like, I really wish I did Tennessee and Florida as our game of the week. And, well, missed opportunity. I know, I already talked about, oh, this is our game of the week, and I was like, it's already too late to change it, but I really wish. I was like, really wishing for Michigan State to pull up that upset to really make it thing like, oh, wow, what a great game. You were right. That was the game of the week. Nope. Total failure. I failed. I should have gone with my gut with Tennessee and Florida. Missed opportunity there. Yeah, I know. Next up, Florida. Out of the playoffs. Not out of the SEC yet. Well, yeah, Alabama's out of the playoffs. They're number 13 in AP poll now. I don't think they have a shot at the playoff. They're out of the playoff unless something crazy happens. And it could. So, yes. If Alabama still has a shot at winning the SEC, they still have a shot at going to the playoffs. As they struggle to South Alabama. Yep. Tennessee, on the other hand, yeah, there's so many good teams in the SEC that Tennessee, boom, yeah, they're out of the playoff. I don't even think they're in the running to win the SEC right now. Florida, total dominance in that game. Tennessee had no offense whatsoever in that game. Tennessee, bye-bye, you're out. Kansas State, winning the Big 12 one year, and next year they lose to Missouri. On a game-winning field goal. Kansas State, I don't think they were ever going to talk for a playoff, but they're out of winning the Big 12. Yep, nah, Texas and Oklahoma got the only one. And then, that was quick for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State I don't think was ever in the running to go to the playoff this year. I don't think they were ever in the running to go to the Big 12 championship this year. What they were in the running for is go to a bowl game. Well, that was quick. 3 weeks, and they are very likely not going to a bowl game this year. Yeah, I know they're still 2-1. They still are over 500, but they paid South Alabama $300,000 to lose 33-7. Well done. Well done. All right. Well, points. Ohio State finally on this segment, finally putting a beat down on Western Kentucky 63-10. And then, yes, Washington 41-7. Yeah, get that graphic out of the way. I don't want to see that game anymore. Oregon and Oklahoma, once again, both from week 1. Not only are they both in it this week, they were both in it the same graphic in week 1. Oregon, Oklahoma, putting up numbers 55-10 over Hawaii, and then 66-17 over Tulsa. What a win by those two teams, and I gotta say, having a little setback last week, but they got things back going again. Alright, we got a shutout alert. Prairieville A&M versus SMU. Look at the final score in this game. 69-0. That's gotta help Oklahoma's resume after struggling. I wouldn't say struggling, but had a hard time against SMU. So, yeah. Well done, SMU, bouncing back after the loss to Oklahoma. Should SMU be ranked? That's the question going into next week now. If they beat TCU, should SMU be ranked? We'll find out. All right, some more close games. Ohio beat Iowa State 10-7. Wasn't expecting that. Matt Kimball's on the hot seat. Yes, he is. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be talking about him on hot seat in October. BYU beating Arkansas 38-31. What an upset. I mean, I wouldn't think that's much of an upset. I mean, I expect that to be a close, intense game. I gotta say, what a win for the Big 12 right there. The Big 12 definitely needed that. And BYU, I mean, UCF and BYU, the upcoming, the newcomers, the Big 12, look to be dominating the Big 12 this year. Wow. Another big games. West Virginia beat Pitt 17-6. And yeah, and I just mentioned TCU beat Houston 36-13. Here are a couple upsets to talk about that I kind of already mentioned. Whoa, that got a little loud. Sorry about that. A little feedback. Yeah, Florida beat Tennessee 29-16, and then Missouri beat K-State 30-27. All right, I'll talk more about the upsets on Down Distance tomorrow, but right now, let's get to some rankings comparison. All right. My rankings versus AP ranking. Here's a little quick update. I'll talk about more about, here's really the full picture. I'll go over my rankings and the AP rankings in depth on Down Distance tomorrow. But, follow our Twitter if you want to see immediately when these rankings are released. Anyway, the big one is Alabama dropping a few spots in my ranking. Tennessee dropping a few spots. Kansas State with the big drop in my rankings. They didn't fall completely out like AP does. It's a big one for AP. Wow. They had they flipped Texas and Florida State. After those two both struggling just slightly. Yeah, and once again, and I gotta say, for probably since week 1, preseason rankings, I've had very little movement in my top 5. Yeah, really, my top 4. I don't think I've changed my top 4 yet. The only thing is Alabama fell out, Penn State moved in. That's really been the only change. My top 3 has been the same since since the preseason, since week 1. AP, well, to hold the same, really, their top 2 has been unchanged. All the others been completely changed. All right, again, I'll talk more about these rankings on Down This tomorrow. But real quickly, let's get a Monday Night Football update. Here is the live score right now. Saints versus the Panthers, and we're now about 30 minutes, well, not really, 15 minutes into the game now, so it's either the end of the first quarter or the second quarter is just getting underway. And if there were some scores points, if there wasn't any offense, well, it's still 0-0. But if there were points scored, well, there's the live score right there. All right. And, yeah, the doubleheader. So, yeah, there's another game starting off at 7:15 too. So, yeah, they're going to have two games going on at once. And it's going to be pretty impressive. And I'm really looking to see how ESPN... It was quite entertaining last year they did it. Going to be to see if they keep it or change it up this year. All right. Well, that's all for my podcast this week. I got a good show lining up for Down and Distance tomorrow, and I did bring back one clip of That Was Trash this year for last week, but I wouldn't say the full segment is back, but I got more than one plan for That Was Trash tomorrow. So and that's not all. I got a big show planned for Down and Distance tomorrow. Alright. Well, yep, roll my outro. I'll see you guys soon and enjoy Monday Night Football.
This is the Slater Report Podcast.